Two tractors, the same badge on the hood, the same model year. One sold for $31,000, the other sold for $8,500. Both were 2021 John Deere 1025Rs. The first had 55 hours on it, an enclosed cab with heat and air conditioning, a snowblower on the front, and a John Deere loader. It sold this past November at Pfeiffer's in Steele, North Dakota. The second had 803 hours, an open station, and the same John Deere loader. It sold 10 weeks later at DeMott, down in Iron City, Georgia, for $8,500. Same green badge, more than 3.5 times the money between the two of them. So how much of that gap did the badge decide? None of it. Both machines wore the same badge, which leaves the better question, and a lender has already put a number on that one. What is a badge worth at all? AgDirect, the equipment financing program run by Farm Credit Leasing, publishes a residual rate book, and in its July 2026 edition, a John Deere holds 52% of its value at 5 years. Every other brand in the book holds 48. 4 points. On a $30,000 machine, that is $1,200. That is the whole badge. You are about to sign for $15,000 to $40,000 a machine, and the number you argue about in the truck on the way to the lot, the badge on the hood, is the smallest thing on this whole list. 6 other things decide more. The biggest one is not even a part of the tractor. We ranked all 7, smallest to largest. One note before the count, said once and not again. These numbers come from a lender's own July rate book, a valuation house, public auction records, and one owner's own account on a tractor forum. 3 of the 7 figures are more than 5 years old, and the oldest is almost 10. And the lender's residual class runs up to 139 horsepower, so it covers machines bigger than most compacts, not just the small end. That is the ground we are standing on. So what decides your resale? Start at the bottom. Number 7, the smallest thing on the list. The badge on the hood, and here is what that same rate book will not tell you about it. Of the 10 brands of buyer cross shops, 6 of them, Coyote, Mahindra, LS, TYM with its Branson badge, Yanmar, and Bobcat, do not appear in the July book at all. 0 times, so the 4 points describe the 4 brands that do appear. And no valuation house publishes a 5-year figure for 8 of the 10 either. Only Kubota and John Deere, and both of those sets date to 2020. 4 points is the whole spread the lender records. $1,200 on a $30,000 machine. Pay $1 more than that for the color of the paint, and the paint is costing you money. Number 6. Which model you pick. Inside that same badge. Worth almost 3 times the badge itself. In February of 2020, the valuation house Iron Solutions ran the depreciation on 2 Kubotas. The BX 1870, a subcompact, lost 49% of its value across 5 years. The B 2650 HSD, one of the 2 most expensive models in the line, lost 37.7. Same brand, same 5 years, and the gap between those 2 models is 11 1/3 points. That gap is theirs, off the valuation table. The $3,390 it comes to on a $30,000 machine is my arithmetic on top. The model is yours to choose, and it costs nothing to get right, but the trap runs backward. The cheaper machine at the counter is often the worse holder. That little subcompact that saves you money on the way in gives up 49% on the way out. Number 5, the hours you put on it. The meter that never stops. Take that same John Deere, financed on the same 60-month term. At 300 hours a year, the lender says it holds 52%. At 450 hours a year, 34. 18 points on the hours alone. On a $30,000 machine, that works out to $5,400. And the lender will not even put a ceiling on it. A used utility tractor with no cap on the hours carries a 15% residual at 5 years. That is the lender's own math, saying 85% of the value is gone. But the meter only turns one way. The hours you add to get your money out of the machine are hours off what it brings the day you sell. Somewhere past 17,000 views have now landed on these rankings. That is 17,000 times somebody went looking for what a machine costs before signing for it, instead of after. If that is you, consider subscribing. Now, number 4. So the hours cost you 18 points. How long you hang on to the machine costs you more. Number 4. The years after you stop noticing. Back to the lender's book, the utility class this time, 300 hours a year. At 5 years, it holds 48%. At 7.5 years, 27%. 21 points for keeping the same machine 2.5 years longer. The dollars on a $30,000 tractor come to $6,300. And the catch on this one is that you cannot feel it happen. Nothing breaks. The machine runs just as well at 7.5 years as it did at 5. It is worth 21 points less all the same, and you will not find that out until the day you try to sell it. Number 3. Year 1, all by itself. The year you cannot do anything about. In November of 2020, Iron Solutions ran the used John Deere compacts and found the same pattern across 5 models, a 23 to 26% depreciation hit in the first year. Not across 5 years, in the first 12 months. On a $30,000 machine, that is $6,900 to $7,800, gone before the first oil change is even due. Year 1 is not up to you at all. It lands the day the machine leaves the lot, whether you sell then or hold it a decade, which is the whole argument for letting somebody else take it. Iron Solutions, in that same November report, laid out why the 2-year-old machine is the buy. Purchase the tractor that is already 2 years old, and the worst 12 months of its life already happened on the first owner's note. A lot of you have already staked out both sides of this in our own comments. Under our parts video, one of the top comments was blunt. John Deere resale and trade-in value sucks, it said, and it would take Massey Ferguson instead. This week, the longest comment on our engine video argued the exact reverse. If you want to sleep well, it said, stick with green or orange. Pay a few bucks more up front, but get it back with higher resale, higher trade-in values, and higher liquidity. 2 viewers on our own channel on this one question, and the lender's book says the badge between them is worth 4 points. So here is the question for the rest of you. When you sold or traded a tractor, what was the first number they offered you, and what did you walk away with? The next buyer reading this learns more from your 2 numbers than from anything printed on the lot. Number 2, and now the numbers get bigger than anything on the machine itself, how you sell it. Someone posting as JKZ on the forum Orange Tractor Talks in August of 2016 wrote both numbers down. In JKZ's own words, they offered me wholesale, $6,500. That offer got turned down. The machine went up on Craigslist and the post again, sold last weekend for $9,000, same as I paid for it 2 years ago. The trade offer came to 72% of what the private sale brought. For JKZ, that one choice was worth 27.8 percentage points, $8,340 on a $30,000 machine. One owner, one sale. But it points at a lever the tables above cannot reach, how you sell. And a second post shows the same thing. Another owner, 2 years on, wrote that a dealer offered $12,500 on a trade, and the machine sold off Craigslist in a week for $16,000, a 2320 with 200 hours on it. Same pattern, different machine. So why does the trade number always come in low? Because the dealer is carrying a risk you are not. John Deere's own annual report for the 2025 fiscal year lists about $5.3 billion in lease residual values and about $1.4 billion set aside to cover first losses on them. That first loss lands on the dealer when a machine comes back worth less than the paper promised, so the trade gets priced to cover it, and it comes in low. The private number is the better one, but you have to work for it. JKZ carried the machine and the listing until a buyer showed, where a trade would have been cash and gone the same afternoon. Those points are real, but you collect them on your own time. Which leaves the biggest one of all. It has nothing to do with the machine, the model, the hours, the years, or how you sell it. It can swing the price by more than any one of them, and it is settled before you write a single word of a listing. Number 1. Which dealer you happen to ask. This past March, the city of St. Peters, Missouri, put a used tractor up for trade and published what the bidders offered for it. One machine, a 1997 Kubota, line item 5 on the tab, on one day, in front of 4 equipment dealers. Seavers Equipment offered $4,500. Seidenstricker Nobby offered $5,000. Herb Turf offered $8,000. And One Nation Distribution offered $9,700. Same tractor, same afternoon. The high offer was more than twice the lowest one that came in. $4,500 against $9,700. The low bid is 46% of the high. That 54-point gap is the documents. The dollars are mine. On this one machine, on this one day, nothing changed but the name on the door, and that alone swung the price better than $16,000. 54 points, the biggest single swing on this whole list, and you set none of it. The honest catch is the hardest one to hear. It is set before you drive up, and you never see it coming. You defend yourself one way only. Make more than one of them show you a number before you take any of them. So walk back to those 2 John Deeres from the start. Same badge on both. So the badge is the smallest reason one brought $31,000 and the other brought $8,500. That gap came from the hours, the wear, the cab, and the snowblower one had and the other did not, and the lot it sold on. And the whole protective move falls straight out of that Missouri document. Before you sign and before you sell, get more than one number in writing. St. Peters got 4 on a single machine, and they ranged by more than $5,000. Do the same thing in reverse. Make 2 or 3 of them put an appraisal on paper, and let them compete for your business. Then price a private sale against the best number any of them gives you, the way JKZ did. A dealer will talk about the badge on the hood all day. It is the smallest number on this whole list. The 6 bigger ones are all numbers nobody hands you. Go get them yourself.